Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
This is the Alpha Sessions, and I'm Emma, and here with Libra Sun. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm very good, yeah.
Good.
It's strange because I do radio presenting here, and I also am now doing music here.
Yeah,
I feel like much more glamorous today than when I go into the wards.
We should clarify that you are also a volunteer at Radio Brockley.
Yes.
So I feel like you're kind of here in a merging of two different worlds.
It feels like that.
Like the kind of the artist world versus the presenter world.
Absolutely.
So now you're like honing in on both to create the perfect mix.
Exactly. And that's not to say that I don't show off about being an artiste to the patients. And some of them love it and some of them are like, can you just stop it? Like,
can you just take my request now?
Yeah.
Bye.
But I'm an artiste. Don't you want to know? I think
I'm sure they want to hear what
it does. It springs, a bit of life and energy and inspiration. And then, of course, they start saying, I know this artist, or I was once on radio. So it's always, catapults the next conversation.
Always. And that's the thing I love about interviews. You start with one question and you end up talking about something completely different. I guess it's like a normal conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is always good. So something I wanted to ask you was, obviously, like you said, you're an artist. How did it all start for you? How did you get into music?
So I have memories of being about 3. I've got a really good long-term memory. I can remember even 2, loving bongo drums and playing them in my dad's office and dum-da-da-dum. And we'd hear like African music and Brazilian music. So I always loved a bit of rhythm and a bit of drums. And then I think I probably started to sing with like a saucepan and things like that. But then it was really over the whole of my childhood. I do remember probably if I started to sing, it was not acceptable. It was not welcome. It was just way too oppressive to really show that side of myself. So even if I had started singing, I probably would have just unlearned it and just completely stopped in my tracks.
How does that work in terms of, I mean, maybe I take for granted the fact that if I wanted to sing, I could sing. But like, if you, I don't know, say we're in the kitchen one day having a sing-song, just by example, like what would have happened?
It could have been really, it was difficult. Like my mum would be really, really quite nasty about it and like say it was bad or stop singing or put her hands in her ears. So it was proper like awful. And so like...
And what was the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot, and I'm a big fan of the book The Artist's Way. Do you know it?
No, I don't. Okay.
So The Artist's Way is about how to recover your inner artist and how most of us, or all of us, are artists in our own way. It's just which kind of art form are we?
Right.
And the author Julia Cameron is like, we're all wounded artists on our road to healing, and some of us are very wounded artists and have had to hold back so much that it's too scary to really go for it at all. And I really resonated with that book, and it helped me so much that through doing these exercises that she offers, I ended up going to art school, and then through art school I started finding my voice again. So that was a big help. And I don't know, I think just songwriting and things like that have turned it around. But yeah, the book has been amazing.
You mentioned briefly that you went to art school, and you are also involved in all sorts of arts as well as music. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, oh my gosh, I am what I call a polymath, or a jacket of all trades, Jacquelina of all trades, but not of all trades, but of a lot of artistic trades. And I think that does... I know it's a bit of a controversial thing to say, but I do think that comes hand in hand with trauma. And that is obviously loaded, and a lot of people would say that is so outdated. You don't have to be traumatized to be an artist, and I don't think you do. But I think, at least for me, I am one of those people that dealt with a lot of difficult things by channeling it into creativity in lots of different ways. So acting helps access all these different sides of myself. And comedy as well, just putting hilarious and witty spins on dark things that happen in life has been really helpful. Painting is very cathartic physically. It actually feels like a release, a meditation. And then singing, oh my God, singing is like journaling something difficult and then making it into a tune, that really is a cure for me. And the actual act of singing, I find, is like no meditation I've ever tried. It's just like it completely takes me back into myself, and it makes me feel almost like my best self. It is a wonderful thing.
So each part of what you've described it in such a way that it sounds like it's a form of therapy, in the way that we talk about, not necessarily in the traditional way, but in a way that we talk about music therapy and art therapy and painting and whatever. Like, the way you've just described all of the above is how I imagine it would be if you were in this like parallel universe where you're kind of doing all of the above at the same time, and it kind of, for want of a better word, zens you out.
Absolutely.
Is that something that you do quite often?
Absolutely. I try and create every day. And
is that easy to do? Do you feel like you have to physically make time, or does it just happen naturally?
Often it is necessary, and it feels just as important and much of a need that's arising in me as food and drink. It's like, something's not right, I need to create. So it's a compulsion or not a compulsion, it's a need. It's a physical need, and after I create, I feel the difference. I feel calm, I feel more grounded and things like that. Of course, there are times when I don't create for a while. And sometimes that can be really good, because as a Libra, so I'm really into astrology, I have noticed that balance is so much more important than to maybe even other people. And I have to, for example, Lady Gaga or other artists, they do art for a living. I could never do that, because then I'd be all in my creative. And I have such a, like I've said, sort of airy, creative and quite, higgledy-piggledy head, that if I just do creative stuff, I'll go off on another planet and I won't have my feet on the ground. So I've always enjoyed things like gardening, working, admin. The more boring, the better. It completely takes me out of my creativity, and then paradoxically helps me feel really creative, because I've got my mind on other things. Over the pandemic, I volunteered in a food bank. Some of the creativity that comes from that is unreal and very important for me. So yeah, my work, at the moment is very grounding. I work in nature, I work with children, and then that's my work, and then the creativity comes. So I have to have that balance. Yeah, it's very important. It's a striving.
We spoke briefly about you being a volunteer at Radio Brockley. What also made you want to do radio?
Radio, I really fell into at university. I was studying German, and it was a great degree, but there was still this whole trying to be a good daughter, a good Jewish daughter, studying a language. And I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of creativity wanting to come out, and it wasn't possible in this very academic subject. And then I think I just heard the radio people in their little booth on one of the open days or whatever, on the open things for university societies. And I was like, oh my God, his voice sounds cool on there. And what are they talking about? And I don't know, it just, you know what I mean. It was like a language that spoke to me so well. I am chatty. I do have lots of things to say. It's a perfect medium. And I just love this thing of the vocal cord. This chakra is like, this is my gift. This is my thing. I believe in it, and I believe this is what I have to offer. And yeah, and so, people would find me in the library, and students of German, they'd be like, oh my God, Sophie, you really are a hardworking student. And they looked at what I was doing, and I was literally prepping my shows. And they were like, that's not in German, what's going on? And I was like, well, turns out my studies in radio studies at the moment. I love it.
Amazing. So let's chat about the first song that you played for us, Freak in the City.
Yes.
What's it about?
I remember I wrote this on the way to Devon. I was going to visit my sibling, and yeah, it's about what I've always felt because of all these difficult things happening to me as a child, and also the thing that I didn't mention, and I think that's what I was about to say. I think it's not my parents' fault that all of that happened, and at the same time, having anger is really important to me. So I'm not saying it's their fault, but I'm angry. But I also want to add that I think the the backlog of trauma from my grandma, the Holocaust stuff, the Holocaust surviving. I think that makes things very difficult to get into creativity, because there's a lot of like stifling in our genetic pool. There's a lot of, having to hide and being persecuted, being on the run. And then if that's in your gene pool, then being an artist is not going to be a very logical path if you already have that whole thing of you have to be safe, you have to be secure. So I think that's another reason why, without knowing it, my parents suppressed me, probably. And then it was just in their blood. But it was also that it just wasn't a cool thing to do. But anyway, what was I on that note? I think that's also why this whole freak in the city thing, I've always, as young as like 2 or 3, I always felt like a weirdo. I called myself a weirdo. I always felt different, and I don't know why. Well, maybe because my grandma told me too early about the Holocaust stuff, or I don't know if it was in my psyche, but I always felt different. I felt like an outcast. And for a long, long time, that was a bad thing. It was a terrible weakness. And maybe until I got to about 18, 19, went to university, started to make friends, started to actually go on the radio and find my style and see all my gifts. I was like, oh my goodness, if I wasn't weird, or if I wasn't different, because I don't really like the word weird, I wouldn't be doing all of this cool stuff. And then, you get older and you start meeting your tribe, and you realize, actually, I'm not going to let go of these things. This is cool. And when people start to love you for all of that, and you start to work with it, it's a very cool feeling. And that's what the song's about. It's I am a freak, and it's a good thing. And it's a way to protect me as well. To say I'm a weirdo is only a way to put up a barrier. So I think if we can rephrase that, make freak seem like a cool. It is. To me, it's being a freak in the city is, you wouldn't want to be anything else.
Consumed by cognition, my brain trained for missions, but that has all ended. So why am I obsessed? I get thrown round and round. My thoughts are loud, so loud. Sometimes they hold on me. I can't see clearly. And I need you, I need you, I need you to be strong. And I seek truth, my heart's open and down. Feel like I'm the only freak in this city, yeah. Oh, my soul, my heart, my mind long for healing, yeah. Feel like I'm the only freak in this city, yeah. Oh, I get caught in my mind, overthinking, yeah. Feel like I'm the only freak in this city, but I guess it's just a way to protect me, yeah. I know I'm needed here. Painting can free the fear. Sing lullabies tonight. Creative license lights. For centuries they said, for art we do not care. But I have found my home, my love, my comfort hold. And I need you, I need you, I need you to be strong. And I seek truth, my heart's open and wide. Feel like I'm the only freak in this city, yeah. Oh, my soul, my heart, my mind long for healing, yeah. Feel like I'm the only freak in this city, yeah. Oh, I get caught in my mind, overthinking, yeah. Feel like I'm the only freak in this city, but I guess it's just a way to protect me, yeah. Sail away, hey, hey, hey. I have found my island. stands. I hear my name, hey, yeah, and there's space to stand. Sail away, hey, yeah, still I blame myself, but in the end I can say, hey, yeah, I did it all for love. And in the end you can say, hey, yeah, you did it all for love.
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
Talk us through like songwriting processes. Obviously, an element of them, as we've just discussed, are based on personal experiences.
Yes.
But like, what's that process like for you? Is it the same one for every song? How does it work?
No, it's absolutely different for every song. I have no idea. I really would love to know what happens when I write a song, but it feels like some sort of absolutely otherworldly experience, and I don't have a very, mechanical way of doing it. It just words come, or words, or maybe a melody. And I think my process is often I see something or I witness something that really annoys me, so I get fueled. I almost need to feel angry to be writing music, or not angry, but something is lifted, and then I express it. I think it depends. I mean, I did notice that this whole songwriting business started with my paternal grandma, who was like a best friend to me, and I lived with her and I cared for her. And then she passed away, but in the months before she passed away, I started writing music, and I'd never done that before. And I think it just was a gift that was needed at that time, and has carried me through since. And so it was a really big teaching, really. I don't know how it happens, and if I find out, I'll keep it a secret, because it's like, a chef's secret, isn't it?
Secret recipe.
Yes, it's a secret recipe.
What about influences? Who would you say are your influences?
Oh my God, you just would laugh, because it's everything. I loved little crazy bands when I was younger. Like, I loved Busted. I loved The Killers, and then obviously Lady Gaga, Pink. I love everything. I love folk. Christine and the Queens. She's great. Really been important, and Alicia Keys as well.
Nice. You said that fashion and music go together. Where did you get your fashion inspiration from?
I like to put cute and pretty with rebellious and dark, and I like that combination.
Is that a conscious thing when you select outfits and clothes?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. I like to find strange things, and my inspiration comes from charity shops and just what can you physically put on that will be so different? And I wear this tracksuit to the wards. I have this multicolored tracksuit, and all the patients and people are like, yes, and I'm like, that's what I want clothes to do. I want people to talk about it. Definitely.
So it's definitely a conscious thing.
It's a conscious thing.
Do you want to work on music videos?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Of course I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you hopefully get the opportunity or the time, then we'd love to see it. Let's talk about your song Just a Moment. You also played for us. What's that about? Is it about stopping for a minute?
Definitely, it's about stopping for a minute, but it's also about it is about my maternal grandma, who I've mentioned, the Holocaust survivor, and how it has obviously it does have a effect on the third generation, the second generation, and all the generations. Apparently, the trauma will only leave after the fifth generation, so it's there. And at the same time, it's also something I don't want to dwell on, because I used to always just obsess about it and put it in all, and I almost use it as an excuse. And it's like, that is not me, and I am someone else. But at the same time, it's in my psyche, and it's there, and it's made me who I am, and it does impact me. in ways people would be very surprised by, but it's there. And then it's also a song like using that experience for how can we use that now? It's like what does that apply to? That kind of genocide, that kind of horrific PTSD that people go through, that's applicable now. So what do you do in that experience? And it's for me as well. It's for me. It's like how, because I'm in this always head space, you know. So what about just take a breath? Yeah.
And how's it going?
Yeah, I need to listen to the song some more times, I think.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah.
Round and round, the same old sound that yesterday was your presence. Loud, speaking loud, there's no crowd that yesterday was your presence. Now you're out, the pain can shout, but no one's chasing you. And even for a second, there's a chance to breathe in air. And even for a second, a memory is not there. It's just a moment in the pressure. Here's a moment to treasure. Sky, the sky is clear, no face to fear, but somehow you're afraid. Man has done, torn and burnt your people to the ground. And even for a second, there's a chance to breathe in air. And even for a second, a memory is not there. It's just a moment in the pressure. There's a moment to treasure. Because brother, because sister, I know you want more now. Because brother, because sister, I know you want more now.
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
I wanted to ask you about dream collaborations. If you could collaborate with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be with?
I do have dreams to collaborate. I actually have real dreams where I collaborate with Gaga, and they are, what's the repetitive dreams, whatever, the reoccurring dreams.
Yeah.
That's
super
have
cool.
a feeling that we'd connect. So yeah, Gaga,
Okay.
Christine and the Queens, someone like Enya. Oh my god,
Ooh,
Enya.
that's interesting.
She's so cool and
Yeah.
spiritual. Yeah.
So you're on a stage, you're doing a dream collab with Lady Gaga, Christine and the Queens, and Enya. And
Obviously.
you can pick any venue in the world to be on stage at, where would you be?
I don't know. Somewhere on a mountain.
Okay, interesting. So random.
I don't know, yeah.
Okay. And where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I hope to have integrated myself more and integrated the performer and the artist in me even more. Okay. Embraced that, made that a part of my life. Feel very confident in being that artist and claiming that place in the world.
Okay.
And confident in myself. Yeah.
Cool. And I guess kind of links, but like, what's the dream? What's the sign to you that you've... I want to use the word made it, but that's not really what... Because, like, what's the indication to you that you've got to that point? I mean, not everyone's dream is to be famous or whatever. Right. Yeah. I guess success. What is success to you?
Exactly. That's actually a very relevant question. I've been thinking. I think being able to do things like live lounge would be wonderful. Yeah. That's a really the kind of space I'd love to perform. And for my lyrics, I think what would be a big aim is for my lyrics to mean something to people, for people to want to repeat them if they feel it helps. Cool. To hear people doing that, only if it resonates, and I have a feeling they will.
Nice. Let's finish up chatting about the final song that you played for us. Let's talk about Smoke. What's the meaning behind these lyrics?
Goodness me. Yeah, talk about starting a song when you're angry.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my, was I angry? And very glad I channeled that.
Do you feel better afterwards?
Yeah. So good. Yeah, it's like having a relaxing tea or even better. I don't know, but it's a good thing. The Smoke. Oh my God! It's I guess I have to keep it anonymous, but it's someone that gives men a very, very bad name, and it's unfortunate because I know so many phenomenal men, and I think you are letting it down. You are the reason why we still have problems as women, and that is something I'm furious about. And I lived with this person, and living in that contradictory thing. It wasn't always about the person. It was what they were bringing up that reminded me of other things men had done, and it was infuriating. And I felt like I had to absolutely sing on behalf of myself and other women that things have not been resolved. And it is unfortunate because, as I say, it's paradoxical because I have so many influential, inspiring, nurturing men in my life, and actually that's what I want the music video to have. But it's I don't know, where's the grey area? There's either really good or not, and there is a grey area.
Oh, it's all full of grey. It's fine.
It's all full of grey.
Yeah, that's all
full of grey. That's the next song.
Well, on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And if people want to find out more about you, where can they go? What can they do?
Again, I'm a bit behind with the times. I don't even know my Instagram. It's Libra... I don't know what it is. Libra Sun Music. Yeah, Libra Sun Music Instagram.
Okay.
And my song Just a Moment is out on YouTube if you just type in Libra Sun Just a Moment, or on Spotify. And those are the platforms at the moment.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. And we look forward to hearing more from you soon.
Thank you.
You say that you love women, the strength we show to you, but you stay in your position, power tripping to the moon. Tell me you're addicted, but you just want to be friends. Can't swim, so go get lessons instead of laying on your bed. I'm just so done with people who say they are so woke. Now I wouldn't want to know you, fill up all your lungs with smoke. Now I wouldn't want to know you, fill up all your lungs with smoke. I'm just trying to walk my life. Stop coming to stalk my time. Say one day you'll have a wife, have a wife. Oh, wouldn't that be nice, oh, wouldn't that be nice? Oh man, have you found your healing yet? Womankind just suffered at your hands for centuries and centuries. We're black and blue from injuries. Oh man, have you found your healing yet? When will be the time that you can stand your own feelings and thoughts right in your head, instead of laying it on women as a threat? Oh man, have you found your healing yet? You want to get to my heart, but you bruise it every time. And then you ask me for a fresh start, so that you can blur the lines. You say that you don't need me, that I owe you not a thing. So then why is my phone full of your messages and rings? And now you're waiting for an answer I won't give, because the line that you crossed over is a place where I won't live. Cause the line that you crossed over is a place where I won't live. I'm just trying to walk my life, walk my life. Stop coming to stuck my time, stuck my time. Say one day you'll have a wife, have a wife. Oh, wouldn't that be nice, oh, wouldn't that be nice? Oh man, have you found your healing yet? Womankind is suffered at your hands for centuries and centuries. We're black and blue from injuries. Oh man, have you found your healing yet? When will be the time that you can stand your own feelings and thoughts right in your head, instead of laying it on women as a threat? Oh man, have you found your healing yet? When will be the time that you can stand your own feelings and thoughts right in your head, instead of laying it on women as a threat? Oh man, have you found your healing yet?